Hey guys, this is Jennifer, and this is the Jennifer Allwood Show, the podcast where you learn how to create a beautiful home and build a creative business. Grab a cup of coffee, find a cozy spot in the house, and let's chat. I'm excited you're here. Hey guys, just want to let you know that this week's podcast is sponsored by the Booth Conference, which is a 2-day event in Memphis, Tennessee on January the 23rd and 24th, focusing exclusively on helping business owners who sell out of a booth, mall, or market. So I was at the Booth Conference last year. What an amazing environment to encourage one another, network, and learn from experts and influencers who can help your booth business grow. You can go to the Booth Business Facebook page to register and get more information. Well, hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast this week. I am so excited to chat with you this week because I get to introduce you all to a personal friend of mine who I've known in the online space for many years. So my guest today is Tracey Bellion, and many of you might know Tracey from the ridiculously talented painter that she is. She owns a business called Tracey's Fancy, and she has like this whole furniture painting style that is, you recognize it on Facebook and you know immediately that is Tracey. So she calls her style Whimsical Wonderland. And she's just an amazing artist, an amazing painter. She's also a brand ambassador for the Dixie Belle Paint Company. And so Tracey teaches people all over the United States and online different painting techniques and different ways of making your house beautiful. And I'm super honored to be able to call her a friend. So Tracey, good morning.
Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning to you.
I'm so excited that you're here. And I just want to tell some people how I even know you. I mean, I'm trying to think back. It's been years and years ago. And I think that I just got kind of a little obsessed with your painting style. And I don't know if do you even remember how we met? Like, did I reach out to you personally and was like, yo, girl, you're talented, which would probably be what I would say.
You did. I honestly don't remember that either, but you would just leave an Instagram or Facebook comment. But the first time that we met was in Kentucky.
You're in Kentucky, yes. And we got to hug each other's necks. And yeah, I would see your things on Pinterest. I'd see them on Facebook and I'd be like, oh my gosh, this girl is so talented. She would put stripes and checks and polka dots and a mermaid, like all on the same piece together. And somehow it would just turn out like this masterpiece. And so your style is just contagious and lovely and you're so talented. And so then when you and I were talking in Kentucky, you were telling me that you make plank wood walls. I don't know if you still do that anymore, but my listeners might remember in our old house how you sent us this entire kit to put on Easton's bedroom wall. And it was all these different colored wood planks. Mm-hmm. And it was just so amazing. Do you still do that?
Oh, yes, I do. Actually, yesterday I received an order from a lady in Houston, Texas, for 3 walls in the same house. That in 4 years, that's the first time anyone's ever done that. And I honestly thought that trend had sort of moved on. Yeah. Orders had slowed down just a little bit, but I got 4 orders yesterday and 3 of them were for the same house.
Okay, that is crazy. But you know, what's also crazy is that your wood walls were so like gorgeous and viral on Pinterest, quite frankly, that you even had somebody from HGTV like grab one of your photos and use on their own account, didn't they? And we'll let them go nameless, but I still, like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I want to just tell somebody, okay, somebody hold my earrings here. And and I want to defend my friend Tracey because your pictures have been kind of ripped off at times even. They're so fantastic.
Sure. And I knew you'd bring that up because that fired you up so much.
Oh, it totally did. I'm all about like, don't steal online. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it to my friends.
I know.
Well, your wood walls are gorgeous. And so what I would love to have you, and the reason I have you on today is in the painting space, Tracey, you are just kind of a legend. You're one of the OGs, one of the original gangsters of furniture painting. You've been around, you know what you're doing. You have a huge following because of that. You've been one of my Paint Finish of the Month instructors. Everybody loves you. And your paint career has been good. But in the last year or so, your life has kind of taken some changes in terms of your health, which it's not that I would ever wish, health problems on anyone, but it's been fascinating just as your friend to sit and kind of watch how you're rolling with the punches and, how you're playing with the cards that God has dealt you this moment and how you are rising above your circumstances and bringing this amazing Facebook and Instagram community that love you, like just real time through your journey with you. So can you kind of let my listeners know, like kind of what's happened in your life in the last year?
Yes, I'd be happy to share that. like you said, Jennifer, when you're in an online space and you are sort of growing your brand or growing your business, but for me, really seriously, even then, it was before I became ill or before I knew I was sick, it was about sales. It was all about just the next sale, bringing in the next sale or bringing in money. You sort of get sort of caught up in that, and you grow because of that. And yes, you make friends and you build relationships but it's still just all about sales, or it was to me.
Yes.
I mean, it was my business, So anyway, I had not been feeling well for a while probably, but it's actually been a year this month, Jennifer. It's October.
Has it really? Wow. Okay. Wow.
We've got almost a year under our belt of when I became really ill. And I was doing a kitchen at the time. I had really ventured into kitchen cabinets, and that is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, very lucrative business, but a whole lot of work.
It is. And I was painting it. I was working on a kitchen that week, and I could just barely function. And I was just pushing and pushing and pushing myself. If I can just get through to Friday, Mm-hmm. And I did. And then when that Friday hit, I crashed, and I crashed hard. And I'm an Energizer bunny. I go, go, go. I don't stop. I wasn't taking good care of myself. I wasn't eating right. I wasn't getting enough sleep. I was too stressed out. I wasn't prioritizing very well. I wasn't setting any boundaries at all. And anyway, I crashed and I couldn't get up. And I literally was in bed for almost 12 weeks. And this isn't like, oh, I'm tired and, or there's no depression involved, no lack of luster for life. I just physically couldn't function. So anyway, my husband said, we've got to get you to a doctor. Something's wrong. So in that, we did find out that I had my liver enzymes were critical. They were through the roof. And so it took 42 days. And for a full diagnosis, they put me through just a huge battery of tests and found out that I have something called autoimmune hepatitis, which, there are over 100 autoimmune diseases nowadays. I mean, there's the ones that people know about, the ones you hear all the time are fibromyalgia or diabetes or rheumatoid arthritis, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear of rheumatoid arthritis. I'm a nurse. I'm an RN. I haven't worked as an RN in 10 years, but I never had ever heard of that. Did not know what it was. So what it is it's an inflammation of the liver, or a sick liver is what hepatitis is, sort of an angry liver,
mm-hmm.
but it's autoimmune. It's a result of the autoimmune disease. So my body has recognized my liver as something foreign and has been slowly destroying the cells in my liver. So we had to put a quick halt to that. And they think that I've probably had it about 10 years. And it was just slow going, sort of a hidden disease. Yeah. I have a lot of scar tissue, and I was right on the edge of cirrhosis, which everybody has heard that word, and no one wants cirrhosis of the liver.
Right. Yeah.
There's no turning back if you are in cirrhosis. And I was right on the brink of that. So, thank God we found it right
Absolutely.
then. And we started treatment. So my business, as you can imagine, which I had orders out for months.
Yeah, because you're so wildly popular with your painting. Yes.
or wildly crazy. I don't know.
Well, both. It works really well for you.
So I had a lot of orders in line, and that all had to come to a stop and a halt. And what I had to do at that point, the first learning curve for me, Jennifer, when I went down as a control freak myself, was learning to accept help. And I hear you in so many of when I reflect and I look back, I hear you in so many things. One thing is that if you have orders out for that far, I probably should have raised my prices.
Raise your rates, baby. Yep. Raise your rates. I'm like a broken record. Raise your rates.
I know, which I have done, but it that window. Thank goodness. I had advice somewhat there. And then the other is that you need help. And I really didn't have help. And I had been fighting that for a long time. And boy, I had to ask for help to fulfill those orders and to have, and I'm not even talking work. I had to have help to take a shower. I had to have help with I still have an 11-year-old at home. I had to have help in my home. I had to, get a housekeeper. I had, things like that I just had not done. That probably would have helped me set better boundaries within my business. I don't know that it would have helped me from ever becoming ill, but I pushed myself too hard. So in that period of time, in that 3 months, it gave me time to really go inside my head and inside my heart and reevaluate my lifestyle and reevaluate my priorities and really reevaluate my business, even deciding if I was even going to work anymore. I didn't know if I would even continue my business. And my husband and I spent a lot of time together. I spent a lot of time praying about it, I prayed more in that period of time than I have in my whole life. And I mean, honestly, I wish I kept up that praying habit. I still pray every single day, but not that much, but we decided if you don't, you don't need to work. You don't have to work. But I couldn't just be. I just couldn't just be. It was ridiculous. And I thought to myself, I've got to find a way I don't have to find a way, but I want to find a way to continue to do what I love, but work in a completely different manner. Mm-hmm. How can I still reach people? And it at that point is when it became not about sales anymore. It became more about reaching others, because let me tell you what my driver was more than anything were my Facebook, really, my Facebook family, my social media family. I missed them. And they were blowing up my social media. Where are you?
I actually remember, and I remember seeing a couple of posts from you that you weren't feeling well, and that you were going to the doctor. And then I remember seeing a couple of posts from you, on your diagnoses and things. And I remember seeing the hundreds of comments from people, on your Facebook page, just rooting for you and, asking questions. And you were so gracious to respond to all of those. But it was like this really cool thing to actually watch, Tracey, because so many people think of just building their social media only, I call it barfing up sales posts. Like they just use their social media to just barf up sales posts all day long. And you have done what I have trained people to do over the years, which is build relationship with your people, build your super fans on your Facebook page, take them behind the scenes on your life, talk to them about something other than what it is that you sell. And then that way, when you do go to sell something, they're like waiting in line. They can't wait to support you. And it was awesome because you'd done such a good job of building relationship with your people that when your life took a, 180-degree turn, they were just right there for you. They were your tribe. They were your people supporting you. And it was really great to just witness and see.
That's really nice, Jennifer. And I appreciate you sharing that with me from that, from that aspect, from you, especially coming from you, who, you really have a good eye for what's really happening, no matter what people are trying to make it look like is happening. But I never, ever expected that. I didn't know. I really didn't even know I would be missed. I didn't even know anyone would notice out there, because these people I've never met, I had no idea. I had no idea that I really was making a difference to someone at some point during the day. I'd never looked at it from that angle. And so I felt like I can't have them just keep wondering. They're taking time out of their day to ask. They care.
Yeah.
I owe that to them. I do owe that to them. And so I just went online and gave my, once we got a final answer and gave my answer, and that is when it all changed.
Yeah. Because I think you did like one major Facebook Live, didn't you? Yeah. And I believe if I remember correctly, were you sitting in the same spot you're sitting right now? No. Is that true? Were you in your bedroom? I wish you could all see Tracey right now. She's giggling. And do I remember that? And were you crying?
Yes.
Yeah. Just like you are right now. I'm so sorry. But I just remember, because I was like, well, I want to know too, what's going on with Tracey. I mean, Tracey's fancy has clearly, something has transpired with her health. And so I remember watching that video and crying with you. And so, tell us kind of what you announced then. And then I'd love to know what you decided to do from there with your health.
Well, wow, that is crazy. First of all, that it's been a year this month. And secondly, that it's here. And that live video actually didn't take place until December, because it took that long to get the answer at the beginning of December. But we got an answer, and oh my gosh, talk about, when you have those moments in your life when the Holy Spirit is coming through you so heavily and so deeply that you can't control what's going to happen. It's going to come out of your mouth. You've got you're shaking, you're like, oh, it's going to come. So I looked at Matt. It was on a Saturday, I think, or a Sunday. It was a Saturday. I looked at Matt and I said, I have to go live. I have to go live right now. Mm-hmm. I need to be alone. Can you and Sadie leave? And he's looking at me like, what? Why? I've never asked him to leave to go live. And I said, I need to be alone. I need you to please just take her in the car. I need to do it right now. It's like frantic almost.
Yeah.
And so he got in the car and I don't know why I came to my room because it feels cozy and warm and comfortable.
Sure.
Yeah. And I just went online and I just said, here I am. And I just started talking and I told him, and I was terrified. The news I'd been given scared the crap out of me. And I just kind of bared my soul and people were just coming on like crazy. And I couldn't control the emotion.
Yeah.
But it was totally God driven. And
yeah.
That was the pivotal moment for my business. And I knew I am going to come back and I am going to be there for my people and these people that are hurting and hungry for more information about this autoimmune process and want to know what to do to take better care of them and want to know what my doctor's saying and what can they do. And I just said, oh my gosh, I'm going to take y'all with me. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea, but we're going to make this way better and we're going to do it together. And I will give me a few days to wrap my head around it. And then I announced that I would make a live on that Friday. And on that Friday, I committed, that was in the beginning of December. Mm-hmm. I said, I'm going to meet you guys here every single Friday and keep you up to date with what's going on. And that's what I did. And so we've been meeting every single Friday for the last 9 months. And I can't tell you what a blessing that's been for me. People that I've met and the relationships that I've built. And girl, online lives are better than Google.
Right. They are. People don't realize Facebook lives, they're Googleable. Yeah, they're spiderable. And so people can find you just by Googling autoimmune things, I'm sure.
Well, and what I mean is that if you want to know something, go live. Don't Google it. Go live. There is information out there.
Yep.
You have one question, you are going to get way more information than you really thought you would.
Yes, so, gotcha.
My nutritionist, my registered dietitian, massage therapist, people who've done cupping, my doTERRA oils. I mean, all of that sort of stuff that kind of feeds into taking really good care of yourself in the most holistic and natural way. Man, all of that information's out there. And I don't just let them spoon feed me. I research it. I spend my
sure.
I try things. I make my decision. And they look to me to do my due diligence. Mm-hmm. And I give back my experience. And it has just been, I don't know, the blessing, thousandfold.
Right. So in the last 9 months, tell my listeners, if you would, kind of just basically what you have changed in terms of your eating and your lifestyle, and then kind of where your health is at today compared to 9 months ago.
Okay. So, well, within 9 months, the big question that everyone wants to know, and you asked me, Jennifer, right before we went on live.
I sure did, because the change is dramatic, girl.
You said, how much weight did you lose? And of course, I'm sure you can tell by the story, this wasn't about losing weight, but making the changes to be a better self as a bonus or a byproduct, I've lost over 75 pounds. Yeah. So I didn't even know, I knew I needed to lose weight but I didn't know that I needed to, or that my body would let go. My body literally has let go of 70. It didn't want it. It wasn't supposed to be there. I haven't exercised at all.
Wow. You've done this completely through your eating.
Completely through my eating. Now I go nonstop, but I am going to start incorporating just some yoga or Pilates or walking, things like that. I kind of, with autoimmune, when you're first diagnosed, depending on where you are in the disease process, they really do want you to take it really, really easy. They don't want you out there pounding and doing repetitive movements.
Yes.
Don't stress your body. So I've been doing a lot of non-stressful things. So I've lost 75 pounds. I have gone completely whole food. I am not a vegetarian. I eat 3 to 4 servings of protein every single day, lean protein every single day. I eat mostly out of the produce department, hardly anything out of a package. I haven't had any processed food, sugar, sodas, anything like that in 9 months. So I'm
so proud of you.
Thank you. And now it's so easy now, but it was very, very difficult at first. That change, that shift and transition time was really difficult. It's very, very, talk about overwhelm. You talk about overwhelm a lot.
I do, yeah.
Talk about overwhelm. That is overwhelming. I mean, overwhelming where you're crying in the grocery store, where people can see you and you just feel lost. I mean, it is a huge transition, especially to do all at once. So that takes us to probably what we're going to talk about next.
Yeah, it does. Well, I just, your story is so beautiful because I think so often as business owners, Tracey, we try to, people used to try to keep their personal life so separate from their business, and not let the two intersect. And when you're an entrepreneur, when you're a business owner, that sounds fine and dandy, but how realistically do you do that? I mean, work's going to be brought up over dinner. There are times you're going to be on Facebook, while you're on a Saturday at a soccer game. I mean, the two, work and personal life just mix. And what I think is just so beautiful is that your life took a 180 and you just decided to bring your people on the journey with you. And you could have chosen to keep that very secret. And you could have chosen to just do your thing and keep, just painting and just keep talking to them every week about painting. And instead you're like, you know what? I know that I've always talked about painting, but now I'm going to start talking about health also. And I love too that God doesn't he uses every bit of our story because you were an RN. And if I remember correctly, you have something else in your background that actually makes you, there was some other reason. Oh, you did fitness for a while, right? And so so it's not like you don't have any, basis to be speaking from. And you yourself had said you're not a doctor, you're not trying to tell people what to do, but you are just inviting other people on a journey of health with you. And so tell me what God's done to kind of pivot your business in the last, month or so, because I just find it absolutely fascinating.
Well, I decided to continue on with my painting business, but I went into more of a teaching role. So I started offering online courses. Yep. Thank you, Jennifer, for setting the paving the path for all of us that are doing that. And that gave me so much more control. It helped me to set boundaries. I didn't have to work as hard. Yes. That was a beautiful thing. So we're about 6 large courses in at this point. I started that in June. Awesome. So that has been a beautiful thing. And that sort of got me comfortable with offering a course.
Yep.
And so I continue to meet on Friday in my live Facebook. I called it Fancy Food Friday every Friday morning at 9:00. And at first people didn't like that. Some of my painting people weren't happy about it. I got complaints. We don't want to hear about your diet. You get your haters.
That's okay. Then
start that on another Facebook page. And I'm
like, Bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia.
No, I don't want to start it. I don't want to run another Facebook page. This is me. This is me.
Mm-hmm.
Both things, and this is where I'm going to stay. And you can go to another Facebook page.
Exactly. Amen.
So I stayed, and what I started to see is that the same group of people were showing up on Fridays, but over the last few months, I started to really notice a sort of a natural division line in that group that was meeting on Friday mornings. There were those that like just hanging out and having coffee for an hour every Friday morning, which is great. I love that. I love that too. I look forward to it.
Yeah.
But there were also those that were asking the same questions and wanting more information. And they were just a little more hungry, and they were seeking out more information. And I could tell that they were ready to make a move for their own style. So I thought, you know what, it's time. I'm going to offer, I don't call it a course. I'm calling it an accountability group.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to offer I'm going to separate this. I'm still going to do my public from 9 to 9:30, but in that same hour from 9:30 to 10, I'm going to switch it over. I'm going to close one door and open another door and go over here with this group who are serious about it.
Yes.
And really, really want to make a change in their life. And so how do you get them to be serious about it? You put a $sign on it.
You sure do, sister. Because nobody works for free. And this is you working. So absolutely.
Exactly. So I will continue to hang out for an hour if you want. But if you want me to get serious and let me really help and coach you through this process, we're going to put a $sign on it. That way you take it more seriously and you show up and you're going to do what's asked of you. And then I'm going to give you really, really good information. No, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a dietitian and all those things. I say, I'm just a girl. I'm just a mom. I'm just a grandma. I'm a sister. I'm a mother. But you have seen it. It is real. I have no product to sell. No product, no gimmick, nothing. I'm just going to tell you how to shop. I'm going to tell you how to eat. I'm going to cry with you when you say that grocery shopping experience sucked. I'm going to cry with you when you have a headache and you say the caffeine withdrawal is making me crazy. You know? So I get it. I've been there. And so that's what that group is about. And so we launched it last Friday. We did it in a week. I committed on a live video on Friday. And my virtual assistant, Jen, who you referred me to a long time ago, Emily, she didn't even know that I was going to do this. And I just did it. And I said, oh my gosh, she's going to kill me because I don't have a whole lot of her time. And so she had to like throw it together for me. And we launched it last Friday, and we have over 51 guy, we have one man, and we have 54 people in that group in a week, which to me is just, I am so happy with that. And
I mean, what a blessing to both you and to them.
You know, I hope it's a blessing to them. That of course is my goal, but it is such a blessing to me. It is, I can't even, I don't even have words for it. But let me tell you that yesterday morning, when they all started day one, they finished day one yesterday, when they all started and they were posting all morning long and they were showing their grocery carts full of all of these wonderful foods, and they were showing me their green juices and you know.
It was food porn. It was food porn.
Yeah. It was a day full of accomplishments. You know, it was a day.
Awesome.
It was. And you know, every time I'd get a picture, it just makes me all warm and mushy on the inside that yes, you know, so anyway.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about just a couple of things that you probably don't even realize that you've alluded to in the last couple of minutes, but I was writing down notes because what I think that I've heard you say in a roundabout way, and I know you know well enough to know, is that you just kind of listened to what your people were asking for too. And you didn't overthink it, Tracey. You're like, okay, we've got people that I know are wanting to be more serious. They're asking me for something more serious. Okay, I guess I'll start a Facebook group, you know, and have a paid thing where they're going to, you know, have to commit some money to the deal. And I love that, number one, you just leaned into what they were asking you for. Number two, you didn't think it to death. Like you could have been like, okay, we'll start it on January 1st. You could have said, okay, give me a couple weeks to figure out. And instead you were like, you know what? I'm just going to go all in right now and strike while the fire is hot, or make hay while I can, or whatever the sayings are. And you just went for it without trying to figure it all out. And I love that about you, Tracey. And that's why you are so successful in both life and business. And I love that you committed to not doing it for free. And, you know, people can go back and they can listen to, I think it's podcast 71 with me, where I talk about how I don't like free Facebook groups and about how we shouldn't be working for free. And whenever you ask people to pull out a credit card, whether it's for $9.99 or $999, when they have just a little bit of skin in the game, they take it so much more serious. And there's this weird thing that happens online too, Tracey, that sometimes when things are for free, people are more needy than when you actually have them pay for it. Then they're able to dig for their own answers. There's a different level of respect. It kind of changes everything. So I'm so proud of you that you're offering this to people and seeing it as like something that they really want and a way that you can bless them with the knowledge you have, but that you're not doing it for free. I just love that.
Thank you. And you really hit a point right then, that something that you just said, I was like in my head, whoa. I mean, you are right. There is a different level of person on the other end, the receiver on the other end. They almost, when it's free, they almost have like that sense of entitlement.
They do.
Almost. Yes.
Tracey, can I give you this crazy example? I've talked about this on another podcast, but I like to use myself as an example because when I graduated from high school, I got a scholarship to college, an academic scholarship. I wasn't brilliant, but I was, smart enough, that above average, that I was able to get an academic scholarship. Well, I got to college and it was, free for me. And guess what Jen did? Jen didn't take college very seriously. Jen kind of just lost her mind for a good year. And Jen blew her scholarship. And it's kind of creepy that I'm talking about myself in third person. But then fast forward at age 25, I'm like, you know what? I'm going back to school. And I was paying for it. And guess who graduated top of her class 5 years later? So, you know, as a freshman, when it was totally paid for, I blew my scholarship because it was easy. It was there. It was given to me. I didn't really have to work for it, and I didn't take it seriously. And, you know, age has something to do with that too. But I just think that when you have actual dollars that you're investing into something, you'll just always take it more seriously. It's just the way that it is. So I love that. So tell people, because there's going to be people that are going to email me, and I'd rather they just went and checked you out online. Where can they find this group at? And tell us the name of it, or tell us how you find it, and tell us what's included in it, Tracey. Like, are you giving them tips or meal plans? Is it only for people with autoimmune conditions, or is it anybody that's just looking for a healthier way of eating and a healthier lifestyle?
It's anyone, open to absolutely anyone at all. It is not for just autoimmune. Anyone will benefit from this type of eating and lifestyle, especially those obviously with autoimmune. But you can find it on my website, traceysfancy.com. / the best you. That's the name of the group, is the best you. That is my goal, is to help guide everyone to find the best you, because I really do believe, and that title comes from my heart. It came to me that quickly. I left it as sort of for a week as sort of a, I just stuck a name in there kind of thing. Hey, let's vote on a name. And it wouldn't go away.
That's awesome.
Some people said it's not catchy enough, but it's what was on my heart, because I really do believe that God wanted me to find the best me also. He helped me find the best you, and I want others to find the best you. So that's the name. So traceysfancy.com / the best you. It's $12 a month. And for that $12, they get a once a week live video in that private group. You'll be put in a private Facebook group, and it's 30 minutes live. And then I have I'm just going to love on them throughout the week, especially when we first get going. And random lives. I've done 2 already in one day, just popping in and saying, hey, I'm proud of you. And they'll get recipes. They'll get my favorite things of mine, what gets me through the day, shopping lists, things. The tools that they need to get going, and the support from each other. We have people in this group. We have a physician in the group. We have multiple RNs in the group. We have a dietitian in the group. We have people who have lived this lifestyle for 17 and 20 years already. Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
What an honor is that?
Yeah.
I'm a newbie, But so we have all sorts of resources in the group already. But what else? Oh, challenges. That's how we're working, is we're going by challenges. So we started with day 1. We're doing a 14-day challenge. A 30-day challenge was too much. And that was just too much for people. I asked this in my open forum. I had time. 14 was the big number. Some people only wanted 7. We did 14. So they'll do a 14-day challenge in October. Then they get a 3-day break. And then we'll do the second half of October, another 14-day challenge. So it is just small little bites of, you can do this. And then I hope that on their 3-day break, they won't go,
crazy.
Yes. To the wall or whatever people are going to call it. I hope that they won't go too crazy, and that they'll feel very accomplished after that 14 days and kind of re-gear up and then head into it again. And I told them I don't know, Jen, I didn't look on my calendar, but every Friday when I go live, I say what day I am on of the autoimmune protocol journey. My diagnosis came at the beginning of December. My diet did not start because I didn't get contacted by the nutritionist online until the end of December. So I am every single day. I count off every single day, and I am almost at day 300, and I can't believe that. I remember day 1 like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And I told them 14 days is nothing, you guys. You can do.
Yeah. Well, Tracey, I love that you didn't think that you had to be an expert in this sort of lifestyle, or that you had to be years and years and years into it. You're just a step ahead at some of the people that you're bringing along on the journey. And I love that. It makes you very relatable. And I'm just so excited to see what happens with this group. I also just want to point out that so often, and I've said this before, I think that God will just use our craft as our catalyst for like something different, something broader, something bigger. Not that your painting wasn't big enough, because your painting's what put you on the map, sister, and why people love you. But it's like God said, okay, I'm going to bring all these people into Tracey's world and they're going to be attracted to her for her painting. But what's going to actually like catapult her to a whole different level is some of the challenges that I've allowed to come her way. And even though she started out being known for one thing, she's got this other thing that can be such a blessing to people. And so thank you for just letting God use, what the enemy intended for evil. Thank you for just letting God use it for good. And thank you for just being in an online space and just being really vulnerable and taking people on the journey with you. It's been just so awesome to watch.
Thank you, Jennifer.
All right, real quick, tell people where they can find you online. Tracey'sFancy.com, right? And just Tracey's Fancy on the Facebook, the Instagram, all the things.
Yes, Tracey's Fancy on Instagram and Facebook. Tracey'sFancy.com is my website. The Best You is the group. Tracey'sFancy.com/The Best You is the group. If they're interested in joining, I would love to have them. And I'm open and honest, and I tell them I don't know what I'm doing here, but I just feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So let's do it together,
Yes, love that so much. Yes, and we'll put all of those details in the show notes for people who are trying to scribble down websites frantically. So Tracey, thank you for being here. And friends, I want to make sure that you go check Tracey out online and of course look for her group if you are interested in a healthier whole foods lifestyle. So real quick, I just want to give a shout out to Jenny at The Cluttered Cottage. So Jenny has left a really sweet podcast review on iTunes. And here's what Jenny at The Cluttered Cottage says, that she can listen to me because I'm the honest BFF with sound advice coming from the purest intentions. And she can't believe that my advice on this podcast is free. Makes you wonder how much the advice is better in her coaching group. I'm signing up for both today. So Jenny at The Cluttered Cottage, I just want to give you a total shout out. A, for the really sweet review, and B, just for signing up for my coaching group both. And I just want you guys to know that every time you're on iTunes, if you'll take 2 seconds and leave us a review, even just if you touch the 5 stars, if you'll screenshot it for me and send it to me on Instagram, I'll always send you a private little video back personally just for you. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for just sharing this podcast with your friends and family. Every time you share it with someone, share it on social media, it just gets in front of more people, and we just appreciate you more than you know. So thank you for being here. And until next week, stay creative. Bye-bye. Hey friend, thank you so much for listening to the podcast again this week. I'm so honored that you're here and that you just listen week in and week out and that you share the Jennifer Allwood Show with your friends and family. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, don't forget that you can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, or if you're an Android user, go download the Stitcher app and you can subscribe there so that you know every single week when a new episode releases. Also, if you have any time to leave us a review, these reviews are super important in getting guests for the show and sponsors for the show. And so we'd appreciate it if you have just a second to leave us a review. That would be amazing. Thank you guys again for being here. And until next week, stay creative.